Ladies and gentlemen, life will test you in ways you cannot imagine. There will be days when your emotions run wild, when anger clouds your judgment, when fear whispers you're not enough, when excitement tempts you into choices that don't serve your future. But let me tell you this, the difference between those who stumble and those who rise, between those who give up and those who win, is not talent, not luck, not even opportunity. It is the strength of the mind over the power of emotion. Today, you are going to hear truths that cut deeper than motivation. You're going to learn why the ability to pause before you react, the discipline to stay the course, the resilience to rise from failure, the focus to block out distractions, the patience to wait for your season, and the calm to remain steady in chaos are not just ideas, they are the very keys to victory in every part of life. If you're tired of being pulled in every direction by feelings that come and go, if you're ready to master yourself before you try to master the world, then stay with me until the very end of this message. Because once you understand how to strengthen your mind above your emotions, you won't just survive life's storms, you will walk through them with power, with purpose, and with the certainty that you were built to win. Control before reaction is the foundation of mastering the strength of the mind over emotions, because in every situation life throws at us, our first instinct is almost always emotional. Whether it's anger when someone disrespects us, fear when we face uncertainty, or excitement when we see an opportunity, emotions rush in before logic has the chance to settle. The problem is that when you react instantly out of emotion, you give away your power. You let temporary feelings decide your permanent direction. That is why the ability to pause, to breathe, and to think before responding is one of the strongest qualities a person can develop. It's not about denying emotion because emotion is part of being human, but about mastering it so it serves you rather than rules you. Think about how many people ruin relationships, lose opportunities, or create unnecessary enemies simply because they couldn't control their reaction in the heat of the moment. A harsh word spoken in anger can damage trust that took years to build. A decision made in fear can rob you of the chance to grow. A reckless move made in excitement can collapse what you've worked so hard to create. But a strong mind understands the gap between feeling and action, and in that gap lies the true power of self-control. When you stop yourself from being a slave to emotion, you give your mind the authority to lead. That pause, even if it lasts only a few seconds, is where wisdom enters. Great leaders, athletes, and achievers all share this quality. They feel the same fear, anger, and doubt as anyone else, but they refuse to let those emotions dictate their choices. Instead, they let their mind lead their response with purpose. Control before reaction doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, but refusing to let them steer the wheel. It means saying, yes, I feel this way, but my vision, my discipline, my future is more important than this moment of weakness. The truth is, emotions are temporary. They rise and fall like waves, but decisions based on them can shape your life for years. A strong mind knows this truth and protects itself by responding with thought, not impulse, not impulse. When you master control before reaction, you transform from being a passenger of your emotions into the driver of your destiny. Discipline creates winners because it builds a foundation that emotions can never provide. Emotions are inconsistent. They rise and fall depending on circumstances, mood, and environment. One day you may feel motivated, and the next you may feel exhausted, discouraged, or distracted. If you depend on emotions alone, your journey will always be unstable. Discipline, however, is steady, consistent, and reliable. It does not ask how you feel. It demands that you show up, put in the work, and keep moving forward. That is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Dreams are fueled by emotion, but achievements are built by discipline. When you wake up in the morning, emotions may tell you to stay in bed, to take it easy, to avoid the discomfort of effort. But discipline tells you to rise, to train, to study, to prepare, to move. It does not negotiate with laziness, fear, or excuses. It is a promise you make to yourself that no matter how you feel, you will keep pushing toward your goals. The greatest victories in life are not won by people who always felt like working hard. They are won by those who worked hard regardless of how they felt. That is the true strength of mind over emotion. Discipline is also what separates those who give up from those who last. Everyone begins with excitement and energy, but emotions fade quickly when challenges appear. Pain, failure, and setbacks can drain motivation. Without discipline, people quit when it gets hard. With discipline, you endure the pain, you push through the failure, and you keep climbing when others fall. That persistence, born out of discipline, eventually turns into mastery and success. Another truth about discipline is that it gives you freedom. At first, it feels restrictive, like rules and sacrifice, but over time, it creates strength, control, and opportunities that emotion alone could never bring. A disciplined mind earns respect, builds trust, and achieves results because it does not waver with every feeling. Emotions are momentary, discipline is long-lasting. It shapes habits, habits shape character, and character shapes destiny. Winners are not chosen by chance. They are made through countless days of disciplined action carried out even when emotions scream for comfort. Discipline is the silent power that keeps you on track, the force that pushes you through resistance, and the key that unlocks every level of success. Resilience in adversity is where the true battle between the mind and emotions is revealed, because it is easy to stay strong when life is smooth, but the real test begins when everything falls apart. Adversity comes to everyone in different forms: failure, loss, betrayal, rejection, or unexpected hardship. In those moments, emotions often take over, flooding the mind with fear, anger, or despair. These emotions can convince you that it is easier to quit, easier to settle, easier to believe that the setback is the end of the road. But resilience is the ability of the mind to rise above those emotions, to endure the storm without being swept away by it, and to see beyond the pain into the possibility that still exists. When difficulties strike, most people allow emotions to magnify the problem until it looks impossible to overcome. They become trapped in the narrative of defeat, replaying their pain instead of seeking their solution. A resilient mind refuses to surrender to this cycle. It acknowledges the pain, but it also searches for the lesson, the growth, and the strength hidden within the struggle. Instead of asking, why me? The resilient mind asks, what now? What can I learn? How can I grow stronger because of this? This shift in perspective is what transforms adversity from a curse into a teacher. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced overwhelming obstacles, but what separated them from others was not the absence of difficulty, it was the refusal to bow to it. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about enduring it without letting it control your future. It is about using setbacks as fuel to move forward rather than reasons to give up. A resilient mind knows that failure is not final unless you allow emotions to convince you that it is. Resilience also builds inner strength over time. Each trial you overcome adds another layer of toughness, another level of confidence, another proof that you can endure. With every challenge conquered, your emotions lose more of their power to control you, because your mind has already proven that it can handle the storm. Life will never stop testing you, but the stronger your resilience, the less those tests can shake your foundation. A resilient mind does not crumble under pressure. It grows sharper, tougher, and more prepared to win the next battle. Focus over distraction is one of the clearest signs of a strong mind, because emotions constantly try to pull you in different directions. The world is filled with noise, temptations, opinions, setbacks, and sudden highs and lows that fight for your attention every single day. If you let emotions lead, you find yourself chasing everything at once, reacting to every little rise and fall, and losing sight of the bigger picture. But when your mind is stronger than your emotions, you learn to filter out what doesn't matter and direct your energy toward what truly does. Focus is not about ignoring emotions. It is about not allowing them to scatter your vision. It is about saying no to distractions that give temporary satisfaction so you can say yes to the goals that bring lasting success. When you lack focus, you waste time and energy on things that do not move you closer to your purpose. Distractions feel good in the moment. They give comfort, escape, or entertainment, but they steal the consistency and momentum you need to win. A focused mind understands that every moment counts, and if you give those moments away to meaningless impulses, you rob yourself of progress. This is why so many people start strong but never finish. Their emotions get caught up in what feels urgent instead of what is truly important. Focus is the discipline of the mind to stay on the path even when emotions scream for detours. The truth is, great achievements require sustained concentration. Whether in sports, business, studies, or personal growth, success is rarely about bursts of excitement. It is about steady, focused effort over time. Emotions can get you started, but focus keeps you going. Boo! A strong mind creates clarity. It knows what the goal is, why it matters, and what steps are needed to get there. And once clarity is set, distractions lose their power because the mind has already chosen its priority. Focus also brings peace in the middle of chaos. When emotions pull you into stress, worry, or fear, focus grounds you in what needs to be done right now. Instead of scattering energy on 100 problems, the mind directs energy to the one solution that matters. This ability to concentrate is what turns average effort into extraordinary results. A distracted person lives at the mercy of their emotions, but a focused mind turns vision into victory. Patience over impulse is one of the clearest demonstrations of mind over emotion, because emotions are always in a hurry. They demand results now, comfort now, gratification now. Gratification now. When you let emotions lead, you make choices that satisfy the moment but sabotage the future. The strong mind understands that true success takes time, and it trains itself to wait, to endure, and to hold steady even when everything inside screams for immediate reward. Patience is not weakness. It is power because it means you are not controlled by the pull of impulse. It means you can see beyond today and align your actions with the greater vision of tomorrow. Impulse is dangerous because it often leads to regret. How many people have spoken words they wish they could take back, spent money they did not have, or abandoned dreams because the journey felt too long? Emotions push for shortcuts, but shortcuts usually end in setbacks. Patience, on the other hand, builds strength. It allows you to make decisions with clarity instead of haste, to build with solid foundations instead of fragile structures, and to trust the process instead of chasing instant results. Every great accomplishment in life is the product of patience. Athletes spend years training before a single victory. Artists work for decades before recognition, and leaders endure countless struggles before success. Without patience, none of these achievements would exist. The beauty of patience is that it creates resilience. When progress is slow, emotions may whisper that nothing is working, that you are wasting your time. But a patient mind refuses to listen. It knows growth is happening even if it cannot yet be seen. Just as a seed takes time beneath the soil before breaking through the surface, your efforts require patience before they reveal their full reward. Those who trust this truth gain an advantage because they will still be standing and working long after impulsive minds have given up. Patience also protects you from the traps of comparison. Emotions often push you to measure your journey against others, to envy their progress, or to rush your own pace. A patient mind knows that timing is unique for each person and that success delayed is not success denied. By choosing patience over impulse, you keep your focus on steady progress rather than temporary pleasure. In the end, patience becomes a form of strength, a quiet power that allows you to outlast challenges, outgrow distractions, and ultimately win the rewards that only perseverance can bring. Calm is strength because in the middle of chaos, emotions often rush to the surface and cloud judgment. Fear, panic, and anger can make a situation appear larger and more dangerous than it actually is, causing people to react in ways that harm themselves or others. But a calm mind does not get carried away by the storm. It observes, analyzes, and responds with clarity. Calmness is not the absence of emotion. It is the control of emotion. It is the ability to stay steady when everything around you is shaking. That steadiness gives you power because it means you are making choices with reason, not with panic. When people lose their calm, they lose control. They say things they should not say, make decisions they should not make, and destroy opportunities they could have preserved. Think of how many conflicts grow worse simply because emotions flared too quickly. But when calmness leads, even difficult situations can be managed with wisdom. A calm person has the strength to listen instead of shouting, to wait instead of rushing, to think instead of reacting, to think instead of reacting. This quality turns challenges into opportunities, because calmness allows you to see solutions that emotional minds overlook. Calmness is also a weapon against fear. Emotions feed fear, making problems feel overwhelming. But calmness reduces fear's power because it keeps your mind grounded in reality. Fear exaggerates, but calmness sees clearly. This is why in every crisis, the person who remains calm becomes the leader others look to. Their presence alone brings confidence because calm energy is contagious. It inspires trust, creates unity. Another truth about calmness is that it preserves energy. Panic and anger drain you, leaving you exhausted and unfocused. Calmness, however, conserves strength for the actions that actually matter. It allows you to move forward with precision rather than wasting energy on emotional noise. Over time, this makes calm individuals more effective, more reliable, and ultimately more successful. Calmness is not passive, it is active strength. It requires discipline, self-control, and awareness to stay grounded when emotions try to take over. The calm mind is not empty, but filled with focus, patience, and clarity. In the end, calm is strength because it transforms chaos into order, weakness into composure, and confusion into decisive action.